So Dustin is finally at the ER getting some treatment, and we could not be more thrilled. He finally saw a doctor who is saying that he's going to see a GI doctor today in his office. Actually, he's texting me now. But he is really not feeling good, and they've got him like in a hallway bed because the hospital is so crowded. And I really wanted to go there with him, but I'm in the process of weaning off of cortisol, which is a steroid, so my immune system is pretty shot, and I didn't want to get really run down and not be able to take care of him when he gets back, which breaks my heart because I don't like him. I don't like the idea of anybody being alone in the hospital. It's an awful, awful place, and nobody should have to go through that. But sometimes in life, you just don't have a choice. So I'm sitting here and I'm missing him terribly and worrying about him, and I thought that maybe I would record something and just kind of talk about some things that are on my mind, because a lot is on my mind. I was talking to Dustin today about just all of this stuff in general and the way that we're treated, and I said, you know, I don't understand how when a doctor can't understand a condition. And I've had some people try to defend this to me. They say, well, that's just how the healthcare system is, and if they can't define something, they can't help you. And that's not where I have a problem. I can understand that everybody's human and that we don't have all the answers. And that's exactly my point. Like, how have we as a society and as a healthcare system gotten so ignorant and egotistical that we believe that we know the scope of medicine like the back of our hands, that we know everything? I think it's pretty obvious when you look back over the years that we did not always know what we know now, and we certainly don't know everything now. And to assume that as a doctor, to assume that medicine knows everything is ridiculous. Obviously, 100 years from now, 500 years from now, there's going to be new discoveries, and people will look back and say, wow, I can't believe those people had to go through all of that, not knowing what they were dealing with, and not having a cure. And I guess if there's any hope in this conversation, it's that over time we do make new discoveries and these things are realized. And maybe there will be some justice for people like us who struggled with nameless conditions or conditions that weren't understood and didn't ever have the satisfaction of being heard or being cared about. In Dustin's case, he has EDS, and that's a defined diagnosis. But because so few doctors understand it, it's kind of like, being back at square one sometimes. And we're always having to educate doctors, not only on EDS, but on POTS and my adrenal problems. And it's hard to educate doctors when you're sick and all you want to do is rest. So yeah, I wanted to kind of go over that. Like, we're human. Nobody's perfect. The president's not perfect. The smartest person alive is not perfect. We don't know everything. Only God knows everything. And to assume that somebody is crazy or somebody's depressed or somebody's whatever just because you can't put a name to their illness is just about the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my entire life. But I'm really hopeful that Dustin's going to get the care that he needs today, because this doctor was very nice, and he said that he'll see a GI doctor today. No more waiting around, and I'm praying that that happens, because we actually called another charity care place today, and they were very rude, and they said not only would it take a week for him to get in to see anybody, even after explaining his situation, they said it would take a week for him to get in to see anybody. And on top of that, he would need proof of income or lack thereof, I guess, and proof of him paying the electric bill. It's just ridiculous. And then they said he'd have to see a GP first, and there's a chance the GP won't refer him to a GI doctor. And we were just like, this is ridiculous. I don't understand how this can be happening, but it is, and we just got to deal with it the best that we can. But I'm kind of happy that maybe he can get some outpatient care and not have to be admitted, because I miss him to pieces already, and it's been like an hour. He is absolutely the love of my life, and I've been sitting here today and I've been thinking about how I'm in pain. My ankles are killing me for God knows what reason, and I just hurt all over, and I've got a headache, and my energy level is non-existent, and I feel like a bit of a failure as a fiance because I want to be by his side right now and I can't even be there. And I was taking a shower and I was thinking, God, why are you doing this to us? You know, I sometimes think if God's going to do it to me, that's one thing, but why do it to Dustin? Because I watch him every day and he is a real life angel. He's somebody who has this beautiful, beautiful heart, and I would take everything from him and be 10 times as sick as I am now if it meant seeing him not have to go through this. But I just keep going through it in my mind because, you know, sometimes with your journey with health, you kind of say to yourself, maybe I shouldn't have done this, or I shouldn't have seen the doctor and put myself through that. But I try to remind myself that every step that I've taken led me to Dustin and led me to the life that I have now. And even though the life I have now has its major flaws and isn't perfect, I'm so grateful to have love in my life and to have met a person like Dustin. And so I guess I wouldn't change a thing. But that doesn't make it easier. But I guess it's that big question that everybody has. Why do people suffer? Why do bad things happen to good people? Why do horrific things happen to wonderful, wonderful people? And Dustin's not the only person I know who is wonderful and struggling. A lot of you are absolutely head over heels incredible, and you have gone through so much, and I don't get it, and I don't have any answers. I thought you said that they said that you're going to see a GI doctor today. But they're saying that unless you're in Florida, that you can't get coverage for the procedures. And they honestly expect you to fly back to Florida right now in the condition that you're in. Then what do people do who are uninsured? Just die? I don't understand. What did you say when they said to go back to Florida? Are they being nasty to you? They're what? This is crazy. So I recorded that so you could hear what's going on. They're now saying that even though he can see the GI doctor, they will not cover anything for his procedures. So we'd have to pay full price, which we don't have. And they're saying that that he would have to go back to Florida if he wants to be covered. And obviously, he's not in the condition to fly. Hey guys, so I'm going crazy calling all these numbers. I called the hospital. I tried to get a patient advocate to go down and see him. And basically nobody's doing anything. They want him to fly back to Florida to get treatment. So I have another number that I'm going to call. Here we go. I gotta take my medicine before I forget. Oh, Dustin's calling on the other line.
They told me that I basically yell at the stupid ER guy. They gave me one I liked, and then they switched me to another one. And he said, so you needed to have this procedure done yesterday. And I'm like, I've been trying to
Exactly.
get somebody to take a look at me, and they won't do it because like there's no way to pay them. And he basically said all that's how it is. He said you need to go to Florida.
He's an asshole.
I was told he cannot.
He cannot get charity care?
No, he
He already has insurance.
Well, what do we do? I have no idea what to do right now because I mean, this is like an emergency situation. He really needs a procedure, and the hospital just kicks him out. And I don't know, he can't fly to Florida right now. He's not in the shape to do it. Like, what do people like us do? I don't know how much of that you heard, but I was told that he needs to transfer his Medicaid in order to get any kind of care in New Jersey. And the GI doctor basically said he wants nothing to do with him and that it'll cost like $6,000 when you combine the procedures with the appointment. So I'm trying to call Florida Medicaid to see about transferring it.
If you are in one of these counties, please have your Medicaid 676554. You can press these several options at any time during this announcement. If you are not in a health plan and need to pick a plan, press 1. If you are in another health plan but want to change or disenroll, press 2. Or good afternoon, welcome to the Medicaid.
Kylie? I'm just calling because I have a few questions. I'm having like an emergency situation and I don't know what to do. My fiance has been vomiting every day for about a month, and we live in Florida, but we're in the process of moving. We're actually in New Jersey as of now with my family, and because he has Florida Medicaid, none of the doctors will see him, or nothing's covered. I don't know what to do. Authorized person? Can I have him call you directly, I guess? I can have him call. Okay. Now I'm just calling a random GI doctor to see if maybe they can give me some direction. I think we already called that one.